Well, class of 2012, I think it's safe to say, mischief managed. All of you Harry Potter freaks out there should know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm incredibly thankful to have shared my high school years with each and every one of you. It is a journey that I wouldn't trade for anything. I would especially like to thank every single staff member who truly cares about your job, especially the ones who put in extra work above the call of duty without receiving recognition for how much you go beyond your normal job description. So now I would like to ask class of 2012, what are we known for? Maybe you could say that we are the class of first and last, old souls who have paved the way for the students behind us. I mean, we're 90s kids. We still know what a CD player is. We still remember Hey Arnold. We know what Be Kind Rewind means. We all know every single word to All-Star and Ice Ice Baby. We're the final class to have trimesters at this school. Last summer, Harry Potter ended its legacy with its concluding movie. I think a bit of my childhood died, but I digress. Heck, it's 2012. If the Mayans were right, we might even be the last senior class to grace the face of this planet. We were the guinea pigs for small learning communities our freshman year, and many of you Miller kids know that we were the last 8th grade class to be taught by the legendary Luray Dotson. We are the class who will forever be known as having our grade match with the year. However, I think that we could be known for something a little bit less trivial than being the last class to have tennis balls thrown at us during the assemblies. As we commence the rest of our lives, I want to leave you with some thoughts on the education we have received. Recently, I traveled to Africa, where I had many experiences that changed my life, but one striking lesson has truly transformed my perspective. It became clear to me that most of us American teenagers have failed to recognize how blessed we are to have the opportunities our education system provides. In Kenya, only 40% of children go to high school because it is too expensive. Since it's not free, too many students must end their education after elementary. They have to make the decision between their supporting their families because their parents are dying of AIDS or starvation, or going to school. I went to a slum near Nairobi where 20,000 people live within 1 square mile. I visited single-room homes for families of 8 that were smaller than half of the bathroom in Senior Hall. They have no clean or running water, no bathrooms, no electricity, and no gas for cooking, only firewood. Some of the people living in these houses are lucky enough to attend the Spring Valley Baptist Church and Elementary School, the highest performing elementary school in Kenya, whose worst student scored higher on the national tests than the next best school's brightest student. But what makes this so remarkable is their circumstances. I already described the living conditions, and at school, there are as many as 45 kids stuffed into each classroom, and these rooms were about half of the size of any classroom we have here at our high school, with only one chalkboard and no electricity. Also, the church school feeds them 2 meals a day of usually rice and beans or polenta, lentils, and kale. This was the only food any of them would get, and it often came after waiting over 24 hours for such tiny amounts of nourishment. These were the lucky 360 children who the school and church could actually help, out of the over 3,000 families waiting to get in. We met second graders who asked questions about America's political system and who our Secretary of Education is. Every student was well behaved, knew the answer to any question asked, and was exceedingly excited to be in school. They know that an education is the only way for them to escape the horribly abject circumstances they have been unfairly given from the time they were born. Not a single one of these Kenyan students take for granted what little education they are provided with. If any of us had to endure the same hardships those kids are enduring, I really don't know if we would keep such bright outlooks and incredible focus on education, as did all the Spring Valley students that I met. So seeing all of this made me reevaluate how I view my education. Personally, I admit I've been guilty of turning AP Euro into AP napping, or using my chemistry lab to test which textbook is most pillow-esque. But I'm also guilty of having complained about how extensively mind-numbing that math lecture was, or how I wish I didn't have to read Heart of Darkness 3 times over. However, I see now what a blessing our free education in the United States has been, with so many amazing teachers, resources, and opportunities. I won't look back and feel guilty for having taken my education for granted, because I feel like I was somewhat ignorant. However, now I realize and am deeply grateful for the enrichment of my life through public education. I most definitely won't take for granted any education opportunity I receive from here on out, and I will do my best to never complain about anything education related. For that matter, I will do my best to not complain about anything, because when it comes down to it, we Americans only have things with which to be grateful. I hope that by sharing my experience, I have inspired you to appreciate every blessing you have already received and to anticipate taking full advantage of everything yet to come. For a grateful attitude fosters contentment, and with contentment, it opens the door for endless possibilities to make the world a better place, which I am 100% positive our class will do. God bless.